All right, guys. In this video, I'm going to be covering another brand that was able to generate over $3.5 million. And this was pretty much in a 8-month period, right? Actually, it's $3.8 million. And I'm going to be going through the entire funnel from how much traffic they're generating in order to bring them to the website, also the geography, alongside the traffic sources, the ads that they're running in order for them to generate attention and maximize their potential in generating revenue. I'll also go through the website, how they're optimizing for conversions, and most importantly, I'll cover the email marketing strategy as well. That's allowing them to retain their customers and be able to build an audience, right? So watch the video to the end. You get a ton of value. Again, if you're a brand owner and you're trying to scale, maybe you're having issues with certain processes in your business, I can help out with that and I can potentially work with you one-on-one. So you can go ahead and DM me on Instagram or book in a call below, and I will aim to try and solve your problems and basically double your revenues in a very short period of time. So if you're interested in that, book in a call below or DM me on Instagram, right? But I'm going to go straight into it. And this brand, again, like my previous video, it was a jewelry brand. This brand is called By Charlotte, and they were able to generate $3.8 million in pretty much 8 months, right? So as you can see here, it says, as of August 2024, By Charlotte, annual revenue reached 3.8 million. So they are generating that amount. Again, I know this is somewhat accurate, but looking at how much traffic they're generating here per month, right? They're generating 205,000 monthly visitors. I'm very certain that this is a lot more than this, right? But I was not able to collect that data. But they could easily be doing, double that, 2 to 3 times that. They could easily be doing 8 million or so every single year, because we can see here, based on the visits over time, that they are generating roughly around 250,000 visitors or 200,000. So if their conversion rate is up to scratch, right, they are likely to be generating upwards of 400,000 every single month, because the amount of visitors they bring to the website, usually you're going to find it's probably double in terms of revenue compared to the monthly visits that they're generating. So I would say it's a lot more than this, and this is not 100% accurate, but it's a good benchmark to show, oh, you can actually generate a good amount of revenue as long as you bring in the right amount of traffic, right, and make sure that they're converted on the website. And again, I'll show you how By Charlotte are doing that. But you can see here, they have, like I mentioned, 205,000 monthly visitors as of August. July, they had more than that. They had like 250. So it's dropped down, as you can imagine, because the previous months was like summer months, and usually the demand goes up for jewelry products around that time. Including the bounce rate, you can see here the bounce rate is around 47%. Now, this is average. Usually you're going to get around 1 to every 2 people who only visit one page and then they leave the website. So you ideally want to keep this as low as possible. Ideally around 30%, if not even lower. If it's above 50%, then you have a problem with your website. And there, for example, the page load speed may be too long, and that will deter people from actually staying on the website and they'll just leave, right? Or it could be that the website pages are not engaging enough. Maybe it's not keeping their attention, right? Because remember, they're coming from social, they're coming from search. A lot of them will come from social as well if you implement this strategy. And as you can imagine, their attention spans are not the greatest. So when they visit the home, product, or collection pages, if they're not having their attention span needs met, they're just going to leave and go straight back to where they came from, right? So it's very important that you have an optimized website, which I'll show. And in terms of the pages per visitor, you can see here that they have around 3.58. So on average, the visitors are seeing around 3.5 pages, so 3 to 4 pages. Some of them will be seeing upwards of 8 to 9 pages. Some of them will only be seeing 1 page. So this is around average, and this is a decent number because it means that people are actually going ahead on average and looking at the different products, the different collections, and are viewing, exactly what these products have to offer to them, and that will increase their ability to go ahead and make a purchasing decision, right, or enter the consideration phase, because that's the way consumer psychology works, where when people visit the website, they are considering purchasing the products, right? And they're trying to make that determination of whether or not, oh, is it a good idea to buy it or not. They're trying to get their objections handled as well. So all of that is handled on the product pages, collection pages, and homepage as well, and also in the ad as well if you want to pre-sell them. But ultimately, you want them to see multiple pages, and again, the higher this number, the better as well. And the visit duration is around 1 minute and 43 seconds. So this is a decent number. Ideally, you want this to be above 1 minute and 20 seconds. So they've managed to achieve that. If it's less than 1 minute, then there's a problem with your website. And like with bounce rate, there's an issue with keeping them engaged on the website. And ideally, you want this to be above 2 minutes as well. So definitely something that you definitely want to look at. But now you can see how they're able to bring traffic to the website, or you see how much traffic they're generating and how it goes to correlate with their ability to generate revenue, right? Because these are important metrics. If you can't keep people on the website, they're not going to buy, or they're less likely to buy because they're not investing their time into looking at the products. And so if they're not doing that, then they're less than likely to go ahead and purchase them, right? They're not showing intent. So you definitely need them to stay on the website, right? And these metrics indicate that, right? So very important you pay attention to that for your brand. Now, in terms of the geography, you can see here that a lot of the traffic is coming from Australia, and they are an Australian brand. And that's pretty much it, right? They are targeting Australia primarily, as if because this is their Australian website. Now, I haven't checked if they have a UK website or USA website, but from what I saw, they are predominantly just promoting the United States or in Australia, which is potentially the reason why you haven't heard of this brand a lot, because they're not actively targeting people in the United States or people in the UK or Europe. But so you can see here, that's the reason. So this is part of their strategy. They are going ahead and focusing on one country, which is what I recommend, and trying to sort of capture that market, gain market share in that market. And that's going to be very efficient for you to do because you have logistics set up there. You have a good understanding of the market in your home country, more than likely. And as a result, you'll be able to fulfill that demand in that area as well and be able to be your competitors. So that's clearly what they're doing. They are trying to also market to New Zealand, but nowhere near as much as Australia. So advice to you is that you definitely want to be focused on one country, and you don't want to be spreading yourself too thin, especially with budgets as well. If you're running ads, you definitely want to be focused on one area. And then at a later point, when you have good profitability, good proof of concept, then you can go ahead and expand to other countries as well. Then we have traffic sources. We can see here 48% of their traffic is coming from direct and 45% is coming from search. Now, direct traffic includes pretty much all of the below. It can include search, referrals, social, display ads, so on. And usually direct also includes traffic or people who go ahead and visit the website straight from their browser, right? So they just type in the URL in their browser and they go straight to the website from there. They don't go through a search engine or go through social. They go straight to the website from their browser. So that does include some of that. But it does also include some untracked search and social traffic. As you can see here, search is making up a large proportion of it as well. This can include paid and organic search. Mostly would be organic search as well. So you definitely want to be generating organic search. And the way you do that is by having a lot of traffic being generated, a lot of attention being generated. And usually, from what I've seen with the brands I've worked with, that occurs when you do a lot of paid social, right? If you're running a lot of ads on paid social, you're going to generate a lot of attention. And that attention is going to sort of naturally go to this organic search, right? Which is why when you run ads, you find out a lot of the time the ads are converting, only not straight from the ad, but they're converting after that particular individual went to organic search, they went to their listing, and then went to the website and then converted there. Only after they had saw the original ad, right, on social. So it's worth bearing that in mind. Again, that's more of like an advanced concept. And again, I show clients and brands how to do that in my program. Then we have referrals, 3.81%. They are going ahead and promoting their brand via referrals. So that includes articles, PR as well, from sort of partnering companies, and they are getting traffic from there as well. And then you have social, 1.7%, and this is on desktop. Now, this is no surprise because this is desktop data. This is not mobile data. As I mentioned all the time in my previous videos, if social is 1.7%, that's only because it's desktop. Mobile is a lot more because the vast majority of people use social on their mobile. So this would easily be 30 to 40% of the total traffic that comes from social, right? And remember that mobile traffic usually encompasses 80% of the total traffic to the website, and desktop is only 20%. So a lot of your traffic should be coming from social and from organic search as well. So that's what we see here. And that's pretty much the overview of the brand. That's how they're going ahead and generating the traffic and who they're targeting, Australia, and sort of the metrics we see on the website and how they're able to go ahead and generate the amount of revenue that they are, right? Which is easily above $4 million per year, right? Or even 8-month period. So that's the metrics there. Now, in terms of the ads, because they are running ads and they're running a lot of them, as you can see here, 79 ads that are actually active, which means they're running a lot more than that, probably twice as much, 3 times as much beforehand. We can see here that they are running ads, and I recommend brands run ads as well. I help brands out with this because it's the easiest way to generate revenue, right? With a collection, with products that the brand has to offer. And organic can be a decent way, but it's a very long-term strategy, which is not going to yield immediate results, which is what a lot of brands usually want anyway, right? They actually want to generate revenue and profit straight away. So why beat around the bush and do something that is going to take a long time, is going to become a case of, oh, you need to be posting every single day, but you're not going to get the results you want to get straight away. So ads is the best way by far to do it. The only thing is that most brands don't do it correctly. They just don't know what they're doing in terms of ads, and they have issues with how to go ahead and structure it properly and maximize the ROI. And as a result, they kind of in this weird situation where they're dissatisfied with the results that they're getting, and it's actually stagnating their brand as well. So I help brands out with that. And again, you can go ahead and DM me on Instagram if you need help. But you can see here, this is what this brand does by Charlotte. They have sort of content which shows the models wearing the jewelry products, right? And again, they have the model. They have copy here where it says, I attract luck and love, right? So they're catering to the target market here. They talk about positive energy, radiates from within, and your own embodiment of self-love and confidence. Attract luck and love with your collection, protection of eye. So they are using a lot of emotional language here, which is very fitting for their target demographic. And their target demographic can relate to that. So it's very important that you make copy that is actually resonating with your target market, because it's definitely going to improve the ad performance. They're actually going to help you to bring more traffic to the website as well. And it's going to pre-sell them on a collection as also, because that's a large portion of how conversion happens, is that when people go ahead and view the ad, it will say, okay, what is this ad trying to offer? Is there creative market fit, right? Does it resonate with me? And if it does, then okay, I'm going to visit the website and see what the collection has to offer, right? But if it doesn't resonate, then they're just going to scroll past, they're going to go to the next video or next image they're seeing on their feed, and they're going to forget about it. So very important that you do that. And that's what they've done. And then they have another image here. So they are primarily using image ads, but they are mixing up with videos. You can see here, they have one where they have the hand with a hand model here. So about the actual model, just the hand, and they have the jewelry here. They use a different jewelry product here, and they use different copy. The universe has my back. You can see they use a lot of different abstract language because they're trying to cater to that type of target market, right? That's how they differentiate themselves in the market. A lot of jewelry brands are not using this type of language, right? They're not going ahead and talking about the universe or spirits and stuff like this, right? So that's one way they're differentiating themselves, and this will attract a certain portion of the target market. He will say, okay, I'm interested in this type of language, and they will resonate with it. This will help with their click-through rates. So you can see here, they've used a different ad here, which is what you want to do. And they have a different model wherein different jewelry products is a different setting as well, different angles, which can, believe it or not, have very big implications on how the ad will perform. If you're using a different ad, even very small tweaks can make a big difference. But that's why I recommend brands do a lot of testing, because a lot of the time they don't know what will work, right? You can't know what will work until you test it and then you see the data that comes in. And then what you do, you evaluate that data and then you make the decision based on that data. Okay, this is the outcome of the test. We're going to go ahead and start creating content that's very similar to this so that we can actually iterate and replicate those results, right? So that's what they're doing, and you can see it's very, very well for them. Here they use different ad copy as well. I am guided, different model, different product, different copy, right? And then they have video ads because they are testing video ad as well. They have the model wearing a product on their hand or their wrist, and again, it's a different format. They are testing different formats as well, and that's how they're going to be able to find exactly what is resonating most with their target market, what's getting the highest ROAS, and allowing them to spend the most on the platform. So you definitely want to be doing that for your brand. And again, I help brands out with this because ads can be complicated. If you don't know what you're doing, you waste a fuck ton of money, right? And again, like this, I could go into talk about for hours, but basically just go ahead and DM me on Instagram and I'll see if I can help. Now, once the traffic has been generated and the attention as well, they'll go straight to the homepage, right, or the website. Now, on the homepage, you can see here that they are collecting emails, and this is like the second half of the formula that's allowing them to scale, right, and generate the revenues that they are, right? They're collecting emails. Now, emails, pop-ups are very important because it allows people to go ahead and give their customer information, allows you to go ahead and remarket to these people, which is ultimately what we want, right? We want to be able to contact these people again. We don't want them to just leave the website and not come back again, right? Even if we can retarget them with ads, we still want to collect their information. So that's what By Charlotte are doing. They're going ahead and collecting that. And then they're also incentivizing them to go ahead and enter their email as well. They can say, oh, get 10% off your first order. I recommend that you do that for your brand because it's going to allow you to increase your conversion rates, and it's not going to lower your AUV that much, because what you should be doing on the website is get add more items to their cart as well. So that's what you want to be doing. And you can see they're using a lot of their brand colors as well. They're using the light pink. So they are keeping it on brand. They say join our journey. They're using certain language, which is going to resonate with their target market as well. So that's what they've done. And they have included the first name, which is a decent idea. You can do that. Again, that's more or less optional, because if you remove this field, you can potentially increase your opt-in rates. So that's worth testing, but you definitely need to have the email list there, right? And yeah, that's really important, right? Because I'm going to go into how email marketing can change the trajectory of the brand, but has contributed to the brand a lot. Once they opted into the emails, they'll be greeted with the homepage. They have the hero image here, where they have a model wearing the product, and they are going ahead and presenting the new collection, right? So open your heart, let love flow freely with heart-inspired jewels, and then they have a call to action here where they say shop now. So that's immediately sending people to the collection page just straight away, right? It just happens instantly, almost instantly, right? People just can go ahead and go straight to the collection page and see more of the products. And then when they scroll down, they'll be able to see collections that they can go ahead and visit as well. If they're interested in a certain type of product, they can see it here and then go ahead and visit that respective collection page. Then they have information about new arrivals. You can see they're presenting new arrivals as well. And you can see they are promoting these products for people who may be interested in new products. Maybe they bought from the brand before and they want to see new products, or maybe they're new customers or haven't bought from the brand yet and they want to see what's trending, what's exciting right now, right? And then they have more hero image showcasing just more like the brand image. And then they have more prompts here where you say shop new arrivals, discover your magic, right? More call to actions basically. Let Love In, introducing our new collection, Let Love In, and all ode to love, life, and infinite magic, right? That resides in every moment. So they are introducing another campaign, and then they go on and on, right? So you can see the bestsellers, right? They're promoting the bestsellers, and they have boutiques and basically in store as well, which they are promoting. And then they have reviews. Reviews can be quite important when you want to build social proof. I recommend that you do that. If you are featured in some publications, for example, like Vogue or Cosmopolitan, so on and so forth, you definitely want to add that to your homepage, because that's going to help with social proof, which is going to allow people to go ahead and build up a positive, build up a positive representation of the brand, right? Which is what we want. So that's what I've done on the homepage. I recommend that you do that as well. Now, the layout of this page, you're not going to find this with any ordinary Shopify theme, and that's the thing. A lot of the time I see brands, they use the same old Shopify theme, which looks very bland. It doesn't inspire, it's not inspiring, and that's going to have a negative impact on the conversion rates and overall performance of the website. So as I've mentioned previously, you definitely want to go ahead and invest in a good website, because that will have profound impact on the revenue that you're going to generate. Because remember, this brand is going ahead and generating hundreds of thousands of monthly visitors. So if they have a optimized website, which they do, they can see increases. They can even double the conversion rate compared to an inferior website, which means double the revenue, right? So you definitely want to invest in a website that is good. And again, I help brands out with this, because they may hire the wrong developer, or they may not be utilizing the right frameworks in order to go ahead and get the right developer, or get them to action on the right type of website that they need. So again, I help brands out with that. You can DM me on Instagram as well, because website optimization is very important. So that's what they do on the homepage. And then the traffic will go to the product page, where they can go ahead and see the products. Here they have, for example, this one. They say new and exclusive, and they go ahead and showcase it on a great background, which is very important, right? So that's what they've done, and people can go ahead and scroll across as well to see different angles of the product, which can be extremely useful when the target customer needs to understand, okay, what product are they going to be buying, and what it does look like on models in different angles, different settings. So you definitely need to be incorporating that. And again, you need to take high quality photos. A lot of the time, a lot of brands are not doing that. They're going ahead and using stock images, or just very poor quality images. You need to go ahead and do whatever you need to do, like get somebody to take high quality photos, get a studio, go ahead and take photos of the product in the studio with high quality camera, and then put it on your product page, right? You definitely need to do that, because that will help completely change the conversion rates that you see. And then they go ahead and show the title. They say, okay, you can buy now, pay later, or pay in installments, which is going to be attractive to a lot of people. Then they go ahead and give information about the product. So again, they use a very similar copy to what they use in the ad and what they've used all over their website, right? So they are maintaining brand consistency. You can see they're saying harness the power of positivity with our bracelet, featuring a natural round cut citrine set against a fine link chain, right? So they go ahead and talk about the features and the benefits. And yeah, this is very important, because obviously they are selling a more expensive jewelry item, so they want to go ahead and describe it in as much detail as possible. And then they give information about shipping, returns, packaging, care, all that good stuff, which is what is required nowadays, because people need to understand, what are all these conditions that they need to know about, in terms of shipping and returns. Can they return the items? How long is shipping? What's the cost of shipping? All of the stuff that they need to pay duties and taxes, the packaging, what's within the packaging, and that's a good way to go ahead and showcase the quality of the brand as well. If you go ahead and talk about the packaging and how high quality it is, and also care as well, so that people actually don't just go ahead and refund the product or send it back to buy Charlotte, because they're not taking care of it properly. So that's what they've done, and then they have some sort of product recommendation here, like an upsell, where they go ahead and say, "No, complete the look." So they are promoting, get some earrings alongside this necklace, and then they go ahead and promote more products here, right? So you said you may also like, recommend that you have that as well. And again, this layout of this website, you can see is very custom. You're not going to find this with any ordinary Shopify store. So as I mentioned, you need to go ahead and get one built. And again, help brands out with that. I showed them how to do this because again, it's going to be very important when it comes to your add to cart rates, conversion rates overall. So that's done. And then once people go ahead and add to cart, they'll go ahead and see the cart page, right? As you can see, they click on the call to action for the product page and they go to the cart page. You can see here, now it's been added to the cart page, and now people can go ahead and check out. Now it says here, you are £64 away from free express shipping. So they are prompting you that if you want free shipping, you need to spend £64 more. But what they could do is also add product recommendations so that people can go ahead and add more items to their cart very easily. It's more accessible to them, right? It invokes proximity bias so that people can just go ahead and add more items to the cart. So you see this white space, they can easily add product recommendations here, and that will allow people to go ahead and add multiple items and actually keep them on the website for longer because now they can go ahead and look at other products. So that's something that they could have done and something I recommend that you do as well. Again, usually that will be done with a custom theme or maybe an app on the Shopify store. Really depends on how you want it to look, but I recommend that you get it custom done. And again, I help brands out with that, so just bear that in mind. So that's pretty much the cart page, and again, people will check out, right? And once they check out, now they are automatically signed up to emails, whether they opted in via the email pop-up here, or whether they checked out and automatically gave their emails, they will receive email marketing messages now, right? They'll go ahead and be able to receive emails like this one, where basically promotional emails, right? So you can see here, this is one by the brand, by Charlotte as well. They have a model wearing the product in a sort of lifestyle setting. You can see it's very consistent with their branding, right? And with the collection theme. You can see they use a brown background, just like with this one, you can see they're in a certain environment where they have like a sort of like a desert, right? So that's what they're doing. They're being very consistent with their branding. I highly recommend that you do that as well. And one way you do that is you take shoots in a certain environment, you take as many as possible, and then you can just put them on your website, you can put them in your emails, and that's pretty much the easiest way to be consistent with your branding, right? So I highly recommend that you do that. If you start using different themes, different backgrounds, different sort of vibes to your content, then that can cause brand inconsistency, and it can confuse your target market, right? Because you're showing them one thing, but then you're showing them another thing, and that can sort of create cognitive dissonance in them, right? So you don't want to do that. And then you can see here they are writing about the collection, right? Open your heart to love, letting it flow freely in every corner of your life. So there's even the language they're using is patented. They're very consistent with that, right? With feelings, emotions, because people buy emotions, they don't buy based on logic. So they're taking advantage of that and they're communicating that in the copyright. You see, discover gifts that capture your attention, love and intention, blah, 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 right? And then they go ahead and say shop now. People can go ahead and click to the collection page and they can go ahead and view more of the products, right? They show product images as well. Very important to do that. And then they go ahead and say, oh, you can also shop new arrivals. So, and then they have the social buttons as well if they want to go and visit social media. But ideally, you want them to go to the homepage or product pages or collection pages, right? So that's what they've done with the emails. And again, this is just one example, right? They have multiple, obviously they send emails very frequently every single week. So this is just one example, but you can see how important emails are. And if you're not doing emails and you're not generating upwards of 30% of your total revenue from emails, then you need to go ahead and book in a call below or DM on Instagram because that needs to change. And if you're not able to achieve that, you're not going to grow and you're going to be spinning your wheels. You're not going to be profitable as much as you want to be, right? So you need to go ahead and implement that. And again, I help brands out with this because emails is just as complicated as ads. You need to have the right frameworks, right strategies, and also the right methodologies in order to go ahead and implement it correctly. Because again, you as a brand owner, you're not really meant to know exactly all the ins and outs of email marketing, right? You need to be focusing on the product and actually the growth of the brand as the brand owner, right? You're not supposed to be inside of Klaviyo and going ahead and trying to figure out, oh, how do I go ahead and make sure my emails deliver properly, or what do I do with segmentation, what do I do with this, what do I do with that, how do I make sure that I'm actually doing sunset engage emails, and how do I go ahead and structure that, right? That's not really your job to go ahead and try and ideate those ideas, right? You need somebody like me who can go ahead and say, just provide you the frameworks, and then even like the guidelines, all this sort of stuff, and you can just go ahead and implement it without thinking too much, or get one of your maybe employees or somebody you're working with to go ahead and do it for you, right? Because at the end of the day, right, you need to be focusing on the money making activities. So that's what can be done. And like I said, it's very important because a lot of this traffic from email marketing will go back to the website. They'll go to the product page, cart page, checkout, and then they purchase, right? So you basically increasing your lifetime value of your customer, right? Which you can't do pretty much in any other way, really, effectively. And you're not spending any money, really, in order to get more of your existing customers to buy again, right? So very important. And also, it's important to note that upwards of 20% of your customers will account for 80% of your revenue, right? And that is facilitated by email marketing. So you definitely need to incorporate that. And again, if you're at 5, 10, 15, 20K a month, then you really need to go ahead and book a call below, because this is going to be a game changer for you when you understand that this is how brands are scaling effectively and sufficiently or sustainably, right? So very important to know that. So that's pretty much it. And you can see how they're able to generate over $4 million, right? And it's just as simple as that, right? So now it's just a case of you going ahead and implementing this. Again, there's a lot of moving parts. You can't be expected to know how to run all the ads and generate 10 extra words, 15 extra words, right? And again, even with the ads, right, people get ads completely wrong, right? They think they just run an ad to a website and expect people to go ahead and buy, thousands of dollars of products based on hundreds of pounds of ad spend, right? Doesn't really work like that, right? What you need to understand is that everything needs to happen holistically, right? Because based on the consumer behavior, things happen not in a it doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? Six, all of these different parts of the business are all interconnected with each other. So you need to obviously take that into account and have that broader thinking, because people would check out, or when they don't check out, they just go back to where they came from, and they may have never heard of the brand before, right? So you need to have a method of being able to generate attention, capture the attention, and then convert the attention. And then this is the way that bigger brands are doing it, right? So uh, just that alone, I mean, it's a game changer, right? So again, book a call below. Go ahead and DM me on Instagram. And again, I have been able to help brands out. As you can see, this one, $385,000 in a 60-day period, $64,000 in a 30-day period, $70,000, right? The list goes on, right? Basically using pretty much the same strategy as this. We just utilize meta ads, email marketing, and basic website optimizations in order to get to the point where they're generating attention and they're retaining the attention, and then being able to maximize the ROAS and the MER of the whole business, right? So that's what we did. And again, I help out with this, right? Revenue increase, guaranteed, right? Meta ads, website optimization, email marketing, right? Those trinity, I will say, is what's going to help you scale, right? And generate the revenues that you need. But you need to have proof of concept with your product, because all of this will not work if you don't have a great product, right? Again, you don't need to have the best product in the world, but you do need to have a product that actually sells. And that can only be facilitated with, having you as a brand owner having a good understanding of the target market, right? And you understanding what your actual target market needs, right? Because we could run the meta ads, we could use every strategy in the world in order to get people to look at the ad and try and click on the ad. But if your products are not good, then that's going to be hindering the performance of the ads, right? And then same thing with the website optimization. We can do website optimization and try and showcase the product in the best light. But if the product is fundamentally not a good product, that's not going to help with the conversion rates, right? And you still got to get a lot of people not buying, right? And the same with marketing, right? You need to make sure that you have good logistics, make sure people are actually happy with the product. If they're not happy with the product, we can send emails to them but they're not going to buy, right? Because they don't like the product, or the service, or the experience that they had. So all of this matters, but also product as well matters as well. So again, I help out with all this. Book in the call below, DM me on Instagram. And if you haven't watched my other videos, I recommend that you do that as well, because I'll go through very similar strategies where brands are going ahead and scaling to large numbers with their whole marketing fundamentals, and with similar products, whether in the fashion, health, and beauty space, this strategy applies, right? So recommend that you watch that next, and I'll speak to you on the next one.